How's it going? Welcome whoever's watching to this video series I'm doing on foraging and bushcraft here in San Antonio, Texas. My name's Darren. I've been doing this for kind of as like a side thing for, I don't know, less than a year, but I feel like I've learned enough to be able to kind of pass on the knowledge to those who can benefit. So today we're out here in a local park. It's pretty chilly. It's the middle of winter, and we're just gonna walk around and see what we can find. Also, just a little disclaimer, this video is mostly for information purposes. Please don't go out and just start eating wild plants because I said it was okay. Please only forage if you have with a licensed expert, things like that. Don't get me in trouble, okay? Also, be safe. Make sure wherever you're harvesting legally. Make sure it's not polluted, and make sure that we're doing things sustainably. We are taking from the land, and so we don't want to threaten plants that are endangered or already under threat from human presence. And then definitely don't eat anything unless you're sure what it is. Like I said, don't consult an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing what I kind of have figured out over the year. But I feel the information is helpful, so let's get to it. So right here, not even too far off the trail, we've already got one of probably the most useful plants in Texas, and that's the prickly pear cactus, or the nopal. Nopal actually comes from a Nahuatl word, nopali, which is just their word for the cactus. But this plant is food, this plant is medicine, it's a whole lot of different things. The fruits, there's not any fruit on it right now, but those are edible. As you can see, there's these tender ones here, come up in the springtime. Those can be de-spined for food. That's actually a pretty good one right there. The inside, this is all dried up in there, but if you were to cut it fresh, there would be kind of like a mucousy substance that comes out. That can actually be put over minor cuts for wound healing. You can even utilize these larger paddles and grill them up food. But if you can see, there's I'm gonna try and zoom in on it. It's covered in spikes, even tiny hair-like ones. So you have to remove them. The best way to do it is fire. Just burn them off and then scrape off the remaining stumps. Once you do that, it's completely accessible, really valuable food source out in the wild. Camera died, so forgive the switch up, but here's another great plant. This is actually related to the prickly pear. It's part of the Opuntia family, but this one is called a Christmas Cholla cactus. And similar to the prickly pear, these little green fronds here can be de-spined by burning and then cooked, and you can eat those. But the best part, I think, is these little red fruits here. Look like little Christmas ornaments, hence the name. But you can burn the spines off those and just pop them in your mouth, or I wouldn't recommend that, but splitting them open and kind of chewing on them. They're very sweet. They even taste, some said they taste like Jolly Ranchers. It can be hard to find because it does kind of blend in with the rest of the vegetation, unless they have these bright red little things that they grow in the winter. But another really good plant to have at your disposal. Going just a little ways over here, and next to one of the most useful plants here in Texas. We actually have probably the other most useful plant in Texas. This is a yucca or a yucca. There's many different species. This one in particular is not my favorite, probably not the most useful, but still, they're all pretty much, you can get the same sort of use out of them. But the three main things you can use this for is food, rope, and soap. So as you can see, that little white stalk there, there's nothing there right now because it's winter, but in the springtime it'll actually grow another one of those full of flowers, and you can eat the petals on those blooms. A little bit later, more towards like summer, midsummer, those flowers will form into little fruits. You can collect those while green and cook them, or you can wait until they dry out and collect the seeds and boil those for like a, you sort of turn into kind of like a rye type of grain. The leaves here can be beaten and extracted for fibers, and then those can be woven. I may do a video to show you how to do that. And then under the ground, if you were to dig this plant up, which would kill it, but if you needed to dig this plant up, you could cut up the root, cut up a little chunk like that, rub it between your hands, and you have a natural soap. So just these three, really, if you can identify these, you're in really good hands. Also, a really good thing is that for the nopales and the yucca, they're kind of everywhere, not just in the wild, but in they're used a lot around here for landscape. I wouldn't recommend going around and trying to harvest from a Lowe's or like a Walmart or something, right? But at least don't get caught. But it just shows like how ubiquitous they are, and in a survival situation or something like that, they could be really helpful to you. This is actually like a really good spot. There's just tons of plants around. It is getting dark, so I kind of have to call it a day, turn it in early, but this is sort of the test video. If it gets good reception, I'll try and upload some more. Probably throughout the year too, because there's different things that are more available at different times of the year. But thank you for watching. Be back soon. Later.